Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my show. Um, so I know I'm not talking about my usual, like the Nancy Guthrie case or the current war with Iran. Um, when I first started my channel, I wanted to focus on issues in the Black and Brown communities because we don't get enough attention. There's not enough eyes on our cases. So the more people that can come out here and talk about it, the better. And I want to be one of those voices. Um, so today we're going to look at the Aliyah Henderson case, the two girls that were found in two separate suitcases. Everything is alleged, fair use, and trigger warning. This is a very triggering story. So if you are easily triggered, please go ahead and click off now. Today's story is one that has shocked an entire community. Two young girls, two suitcases, buried in shallow graves near a playground. And now police say the person responsible may have been the one person those girls should have been safest with, their mother. Tonight, we're going to break down everything we know so far about the case involving 28-year-old Aliyah Henderson, who is now facing 2 counts of aggravated murder after the bodies of her daughters were discovered in Cleveland, Ohio. This is a very sad case. We're going to be looking at news reports, and then we're going to look at the video of the body-worn camera footage that the officers responding to the call. We're going to look at that video, okay? This story is even deeper than just the headlines because one of the fathers says he's been trying and begging for custody for years. And let me go ahead and share screen so we can get some of the videos up before we get to the father. Let's get to the, so you can see the first report on this. All right, here we go.
And good morning. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. We want to update you on a story that has really gripped Cleveland and really Northeast Ohio because this case continues to unfold. And so we want to make sure we've given you the most updated information. We've just gotten a press release from the city of Cleveland to sort of update this. So we're going to try and walk you through this case because it is so convoluted. It starts Monday evening, and we want to show you video from when this occurred. This is on the east side of Cleveland, really near the Ginn Academy. And at this point, it was called in as a man who was walking his dog, and his dog smelled something, for the lack of a better term, hit on something, and the man investigated, and it appeared to be a suitcase that was partially buried or buried in a shallow, what police called a shallow grave. Immediately, they began searching that area. They do find that first suitcase, and there was a child's body in there. They start searching the rest of the area. You can kind of see it's a wooded area. As they begin to search that that area, they find a second suitcase that is also partially buried or in a shallow grave and also contains the body of a young child. And so that's where the case evolved as far as Monday night into Tuesday. A little bit of information came out Tuesday that it appears that the DNA from testing the DNA from the two children, that they appeared to be at least half sisters. And that really started the investigation. And from what the Cleveland police say, in this press release, that the homicide unit launched in an intensive investigation working to develop leads through area canvassing, witness interviews, and the review of available surveillance footage, despite limited initial evidence, detectives worked quickly and methodically to advance the investigation. That goes through the course of a day or two. And I want to show you exactly where we are talking in the city of Cleveland on the east side, just so that if you're familiar with the area, that you might be able to just see where we're talking.
Hello,
You can see
Hassan.
I-90 on the east side, and we are focusing in on where that red bullet point is. It is the intersection of Midland Avenue and East 162nd. You can see it's just a half a block away from Ginn Academy, and it's really this wooded area that you see on the back of this, what they call Saranac Playground. You see the trees before those what look like semi-trailers. That's the area that these two suitcases and the two young girls' bodies were found. Let's fast forward to yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, police are back out at that scene after really opening that area up. And I want to make sure we've got the right video here. They go back out to the area to search a home that they develop information on, and they get a search warrant for a house in this area. You can see more of those trailer boxes in the back there. And they start to do more investigating. They go back to a home in the 700 block of East 162nd Street. And according to the police, within less than 48 hours, detectives detained a person of interest and recovered substantial evidence related to the case while they are searching that home on East 162nd. They also find a child inside that home who they say appeared to be in good health. Now, from that, we do know that according to police and their release, that one person was taken into custody. A 28-year-old female was arrested, and she is expected to be charged later today. That's where we want to sort of stop with the information given us today from police. What we also know through working this story is that, police have yet to put a name to the 28-year-old arrested. They at least don't put that name in this press release. But what we know is that a 28-year-old woman was arrested yesterday evening, and she was arrested on charges of murder and child endangering. That was the arrest charges and why she was arrested. Now, you at home may want to put two and two together. We can't.
So we're going to pause this one because we got the meat and potatoes. We have an understanding of what took place when all of this started unveiling. Now, they identified who the mother was and also found out that there was a third child, and that child has been taken into custody with social services. And from my understanding, other people have made calls about this woman. One of the fathers says he's been begging for custody for years, trying to find his daughter, and nobody helped him. And by the time the police called him, it was already too late. And this is so reminiscent of the Freezer Moms case. You remember Michelle Blair out of Detroit, who unalived two of her children and put them in a freezer. And they were found when an eviction was being done on her and her apartment. Let's take a look at the father. And he has some strong words, and it's very understandable why he feels the way he does.
Right now at 11. look like a kid.
Yeah. A Cleveland mother accused of killing her 2 children. Tonight, one of their fathers,
she told you that she was going to kill your daughter,
is facing the unimaginable. Police say they know who is behind the crime. Now family and neighbors talk to News 5 investigator Scott Knoll, all trying to make sense of this tragedy.
Mourners paying tribute to 2 lives taken too soon. And Cleveland police say the person responsible is the girl's mother, 28-year-old Aliyah Henderson. In court documents, investigators say Henderson, quote, knowingly and purposely killed 10-year-old Amor Wilson and her sister, 8-year-old Mila Chatman, then put the sisters in 2 different suitcases and buried them in shallow graves outside Ginn Academy.
We're shaking up right now. Understood.
A neighbor walking his dog discovered the first of the bodies Monday night.
Just like full in the fetal position.
Nearby, police found the second. Investigators have not said how long the girls were there and tell me the motive for the killings is still unknown. But Deshaun Chatman believes there were red flags. He says Mila Chatman was his daughter. He didn't want his face to be shown. He said he wanted the focus to be on the sisters.
This didn't have to happen like this. Mila had a father, prison father, that wanted her.
He says he hadn't seen his daughter in years, claiming Henderson cut him off after he called Child Protective Services after she threatened Mila.
Come and get this crybaby ass baby or I'm gonna kill her.
Was that just a frustrated mom?
I don't know if that was a frustrated mom or a deranged woman, but I'm gonna go with the deranged woman if you ask me.
He says Henderson then moved around with the kids. Court records show she and her daughters were evicted in 2021 for failing to pay rent. The next year, a neighbor says she moved into this home on East 162nd Street. From the sidewalk in front of it, you can see where her daughter's bodies were found.
She never let her kids come outside, play. None of the kids engaged with those kids.
Deshae Kreider, who shares the duplex with Henderson, says she too called protective services about Henderson, concerned about erratic behavior.
She was acting out.
You have concerns about her mental health?
Yes, 100%.
In a statement, a county spokesperson said due to the...
Y'all, please let me know if the video is skipping because it kind of looks that way over here, but I don't know how it looks on y'all's end.
Active criminal investigation into these deaths, as well as the state's confidentiality law, she couldn't disclose any further information about any Children and Family Services involvement with the family. But Chatman insists the system let him down.
I don't want to see that.
Say hey, Grandma.
No.
Thank you, babe.
No.
He says there's no justice for Mila, just this hope for the woman accused of killing her.
The same thing that happened to my baby.
You want her death penalty?
Dead. I don't care if it's death penalty. I don't care if she hang herself. I want her dead. Out of here.
People are going to say that sounds awfully harsh.
You killed 2 kids because you couldn't control your emotions as a grown woman. I don't care how harsh you say it is.
We're told Aliyah Henderson will be arraigned on those 2 counts of aggravated murder here at the Justice Center in the morning. In downtown Cleveland, I'm News 5 investigator Scott Knoll.
And I do
today in Cleveland.
I do have my windows open, guys. And someone next door has a moped, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Sorry for the noise. Just like in the Michelle Blair case. Oh, this is so fucking annoying. Just like in the Michelle Blair case, there was a father that wanted custody or to be able to see his child, and he was denied that. Now, I never understand that with some women. When you have another parent that is able to help, able to take some of that load off and is willing to, but because you're mad at the father, you keep that baby away. I wish my kids' fathers was more present. I would have preferred that. Every child needs a father in their life. It's like they need an active, present mother, non-abusive mother. Thank you, Judy, so much for the super sticker. Love me some you, boo. Love you. All right. Now, before we get into the video of the discovery of the children. Let's just do a rundown, okay? Let's start with the moment everything came to light. So on Monday evening, a man was walking his dog near a field in Cleveland's South Collinwood neighborhood, close to Gin Academy in, what is that, Saranac Park? Saranac Playground, I think is the name of it. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but there was a man walking, and the dog began reacting to something in the ground. So that's when the man noticed a suitcase partially buried in a shallow grave. Inside was the body of a child. Police were called immediately, and as officers began investigating the area, they made an even more disturbing discovery. Just 25 feet away, they found a second shallow grave. Inside another suitcase was the body of another little girl. Let that sink in. 2 children, 2 suitcases, buried in a field. Police immediately launched a homicide investigation. And, of course, they were Jane Doe in the beginning. For hours, investigators did not know who the girls were. There were no missing child reports that matched their descriptions in the immediate area, so they really had no clue. That alone raised serious questions. How could 2 children be missing and nobody reported them? The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's office later identified the victims using DNA testing. Also, the person that was walking the dog said that he had passed that suitcase many a times. So those babies were out there for a good minute. Hey, Jemmy. Hey, Sagittarius Queen. I didn't see you up there earlier. Amor Wilson, age 10, and Mila Chatman, age 8. The girls, I hate they described them as half sisters. They were sisters. They were sisters. And investigators soon made a chilling discovery. There was a third child. Okay, now let's talk about the arrest. Police began canvassing the area around where the suitcases were found. They reviewed surveillance footage, they interviewed neighbors, and they executed a search warrant at a home near East 162nd Street and Midland Avenue. During that search, investigators say they recovered significant evidence related to the case. Inside the home, police also located a third child who appeared to be healthy. That child was immediately taken into protective custody by the Department of Children and Family Services. Shortly after that search, police detained Aliyah Henderson. And on Thursday, she was officially charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder. And we're going to see a video of her arraignment. Her bond was set at $2 million. Now, let's take a look at the video discovery. And again, trigger warning. This just tore my heart out. Thank you, Jemmy.
It was halfway buried. It's about this thick. It's about halfway buried. I pulled it up, unzipped it. I couldn't really see, and I opened it up, and yeah.
This is body cam video we just received in the last couple of hours, showing footage of the chilling moment that police officers in Cleveland discovered the bodies of 2 young girls inside suitcases partially buried in a park near a school.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This is the woman who police say is connected to the crime, what we know about her, and how police tracked her down. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We still have a lot of questions we're trying to get answered right now in this case out of Cleveland. It is a case that is horrific. It is chilling. And the big questions we are following right now: how did two young girls lose their lives? One of them possibly as young as just 8 years old.
I got you.
This is the moment a police officer walked up to one of the suitcases in the park on Cleveland's east side Monday night around 6:30. The suitcase was partially buried in the ground, but it was very visible. You can see as the officer walks up to it, it wasn't hidden in the trees or beyond the fence. The newly released body cam video, I will warn you, it has some very disturbing details that are tough to listen to, but I'll also tell you, you do not see what was inside the suitcase. Much of that has been redacted. Now, police say they found a second suitcase after investigating this one that was about 25 feet away, and they found another body in that suitcase. So you have the bodies of two young girls in two suitcases at this park. Now, before we get into the new information we are getting from police on the arrest and what we know about that person, I want to start with what we see at the beginning of this body cam video. This officer rolling up to this park and then meets the witness who called 911, who said they made the discovery of what was in the suitcase.
Hey, so you can show me your rising. How you doing, sir?
We're shaking up right now.
Understood.
If you go, you can see the case from back here. It's all the way straight to the back.
Close to that sign?
Yeah, see the little black
Straight ahead in front of you? Okay.
Straight,
It's
yeah.
a suitcase?
It's a suitcase. I've been walking past it for about a week now because I take my dog. I stay right here. I take my dog. I usually walk her through there and then come around here.
Okay.
And for the last week, she's been stopped. It was like a mound of dirt. She's been stopped and sniffing like a little too long.
Okay.
And today I was like, well, I'm gonna take it. I hope it's not what I'm.
Right.
And it was halfway buried. It's about this thick. It's about halfway buried. I pulled it up, unzipped it. I couldn't really see, and I opened it up. And
Buried under the dirt, it was?
halfway.
Okay.
You can see a little part of it sticking out.
And you said you noticed it for about a week already?
Yeah, it's been sitting over there like somebody buried it or
Okay.
tried to bury it. And like I said, I walked my dog over there, and she keeps stopping it. She sniff a little too long.
Right.
You know, she sniffs stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I'm not going with it. And today I was just like, let me see what that really is.
Okay.
It's back there.
All right,
I
I'll go-
pulled it up so it's kind of standing up and it stinks like hell.
Okay. You're right here at 670?
Yeah.
What was your name, sir?
Philip.
Philip? Okay. I'm going to check it out. I'll be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a picture from Google Maps of the park. It is right outside of a school, and it's near a residential neighborhood where a man says he's regularly walking his dog at night, and he found this suitcase. And you heard him tell the officer that he actually believes the suitcase had been there for roughly a week, if not more. He says each time he would walk by it, his dog kept going up to it and kept showing it a lot of attention. And that night, he decided that it was time to see what was inside of the suitcase. And that's when he made the kind of discovery that lives with you forever, because you heard him tell the officer that as soon as he opened the suitcase, he saw a head inside. Now, as we continue this body cam video, the police officer then goes back to his cruiser, drives around to the other side of the park, and that's when he gets out and he makes his way to the suitcase to see for himself.
I got you.
Hey, are you still inside the district? Okay. I was gonna have you grab my flashlight, but that's all right. When you get up here, if you go down 162, like I went up Saranac 162, you can just pull in this parking lot for this Ginn Academy, and you'll see me back here. So I haven't opened it yet. The dude I talked to, the caller, he said that there was this suitcase partially like buried in the ground that he said he's been noticing for like a week, and his dog keeps trying to get to it. So he said that he pulled it out today, and to see what was in there, kind of heavy, and he noticed like a head, and he just left it and called the police. So I'll just wait till you guys get here before I open it. All right. Yeah, just come down towards like Midland, and I mean, as soon as you get to like the last drive for the school, you'll just pull in there. I'm in the back. All right. Bye.
Barney 14th radio. What?
I really want to pause this to say this because it's kind of weighing on me, and it's bothersome. And this is why I talk about our black and brown cases. Now, if I was talking about Nancy Guthrie, it would be a lot of people watching. But because I'm talking about two little black girls, it's like no one pays attention. But I will continue to talk about these cases. It needs all the attention. I don't care if it's 9 people. 9 people know about this case because of me. I just wanted to say that.
Hey, Gil, are you still at the district by chance? Can you do me a favor, please? I left my flashlight in the sergeant's office. Are you able to run it up to me? I'm on this call on 162. Yeah, so if you go in there right in front of, like on the side of the refrigerator, you'll see a flashlight. And then I'm on that call on 162nd and Midland. Appreciate it. Thanks, Gil.
Right. Where is everyone? It's I had to pause and say it because it bothers me. So you don't care. 2 little girls. But let this be Nancy Guthrie. Let me be talking about the war. It's so disheartening. It really is. I hate that our cases don't get the attention. Just like Trump, sent in the FBI and said he's going to find the person that did this. What about these other cases? They are just as important, if not more. No one cares for black or brown children. Let this be two little white girls. I digress on that. Every case deserves eyes. That's all I'm saying.
Radio. Can you show me a 5 working on 3 reports and Mark taking in there and grab? Okay. Yeah, 3-4 radio. Yeah, bye. Go ahead. Can you put me over Sam's 3 on this call? I copy 1834. Radio Department 14. His listed address is going to be in Euclid. They did have a possible callback. It's from last September. It's 216-463-2233.
You notice this officer remains incredibly calm, very professional as all of this continues on. And you see in this video that he's looking at the suitcase that was partially buried in the ground. And again, it's very visible. Whoever the person was, and I know that there's been an arrest that we'll talk about here in just a moment, it does not seem that they did a lot to hide this suitcase that police say had the body of a young girl inside. And you just wonder, looking at it, how many people passed this by in the days that it was potentially there, not knowing the absolute horror of a situation that had taken place and the life that was lost and the body that was inside of that suitcase. As you watch the body cam video, the officer waits for backup to arrive. And once the backup gets there, they go back to the suitcase and they investigate.
We're going to have to look and see. I mean, it's like partially buried. He said it was sticking out for like a week. He finally decided to open it up. I just want to see. You flash your light on. I just want to see if there's any blood or anything on it. No? Yeah. You on?
Yeah. Oh.
You bring it closer. I can't see.
You got the foot?
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, it is. It look like a kid.
Yeah. I can't. It's attached. It's just like full in the fetal position.
It wasn't long after this suitcase that officers discover a second suitcase in this park. It's about 25 feet away. They also say it was partially buried, and inside of that suitcase was the body of another young girl. Law enforcement say these girls, their ages, they believe are between 10 and a half and 14. And then the other one is between 8 and a half and 13. Right now, law enforcement is waiting on information from the medical examiner in Cleveland to not just determine cause of death, but also positively identify these bodies. However, the medical examiner did say that preliminary DNA results show that these girls were related. They believe the girls were half sisters. The police report that we received from Cleveland PD still lists the girls' names as Jane Doe. Now, hours after police made this horrific discovery, there was an arrest that was reportedly made, and this is the person allegedly responsible, Aliyah Henderson. She's 28 years old, and right now she is in jail in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, and she is listed as facing a charge of murder and child endangering. Cleveland police have not officially said her name yet, but neighbors tell WOIO-TV that Henderson lived in a home that was not far from the park. It was possibly right across the street. And it was at that home that authorities executed a search warrant Wednesday night. Here's what Cleveland police said as they were executing the search warrant before they arrested Henderson. This is per WKYC-TV.
This evening, our homicide unit conducted a search warrant here in this area of East 162nd and Midland. As part of that ongoing investigation and search warrant, the investigators were able to identify and detain a person of interest. At this point, the investigation obviously is ongoing. This person is going to be interviewed, and we're going to hope to continue his investigation and gather more leads. This is not an arrest at the moment. It's just a person of interest that we're looking to talk to and gain some more information. As you can imagine, all our resources, every possible lead that we have been receiving, every possible agency that we're able to work with, we're working to arrest those responsible person or persons that are responsible for this crime.
Police reportedly said that they took a person of interest into custody while serving a search at that home across the street. And also in that home was a third child. But this child was alive, and this child appeared to be in good health, which is, if there's any good news in this story, and it can be hard to find at this point, the fact that that child is okay. That is certainly good news. We do know the child reportedly is in the custody now of the Department of Children and Families. Police have not said what the causes of death are for these two girls. We also don't know how long they were in the suitcases in the park, and we do not know when they died. This is what the chief of police in Cleveland said at a news conference.
Can you give any sort of update on the condition of the bodies that are found? I know you said it's been some time. This isn't something that just happened, but any sort of...
So right now, the only thing we could say, there's no clear indicators. So there's nothing that's visible enough to determine what the cause of death was.
We had heard, Chief, that perhaps these children were malnourished. Is that something that you heard as well?
I don't have a comment on that. I would defer to the medical examiner once their results come out.
Were the
malnourished look also could be because of the fact that they were sitting there for at least a week. Remember, the man said that he passed by for a week and that suitcase had been sitting there. Hold on. So they arrested Aliyah Henderson, set her bond at $2 million. Let's look at that arraignment hearing.
The very first case judge on the docket is Aliyah Henderson. She has 2 counts of aggravated murder.
She sure look well fed though with her fat ass.
Good morning, Ms. Henderson. All right, so we're going to first hear from, regarding your bond, we're going to first hear from the prosecutor from the state and regarding charges against you, charges that you are presumed innocent, on charges that allow for you to have an attorney without cost, And after we hear from the prosecutor, we'll hear from your attorney, okay? Madam Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is an allegation of murder in 2 separate charges. It's alleged in this matter that the defendant did cause the death of her 2 daughters, 8 and 10 years old. The badly decomposed bodies of the 2 little girls were found in shallow graves in Cleveland in suitcases. Your Honor, the defendant is 28 years old. She scores a 1 and a 1 on the PSA, has no record noted on the PSA. Your Honor, based on the nature of the allegations and the charges in this case, I would ask for nothing less than a $2 million bond. I would implore the court to consider setting a $2 million bond, cash surety at this point for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Public Defender.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Henderson is waiving a preliminary hearing on both cases, and I ask for the most reasonable bond you can give her.
Tell me a little more about it that you know.
Judge, she's been in jail 3 days.
Me too.
And as you've seen the public safety assessment, she's looking for a job and she has a place to live. And all of her life has been in this area. Thank you.
Have you seen her PSA?
I have. I just said, yeah.
Let's go over that. So no history of violence. History 1-1, no history of violence, no convictions, no charges. Given the nature of the allegations, as well as my concern for the safety of the public, we will deal, the bond will be $2 million. Ms. Henderson, work with your attorney, go to your hearings, and fight for your innocence, okay?
Child, please fight for innocence. Anyway. The Cleveland police chief, Dorothy Todd, described this case as traumatic for the community and investigators. The community is angry, y'all. They're angry. Like I said, this is so reminiscent of the Michelle Blair case out in Detroit. The chief also said that detectives had to work hard, carefully, and methodically to develop evidence. And she emphasized that some details cannot yet be released to protect the integrity of the investigation. One of the biggest unanswered questions right now is, how did the girls die? And why? As of now, the cause and manner of death have not been released by the medical examiner. I will be looking for those reports when they do drop. I'm going to be following this case all the way through in more cases, okay? We also need to know, like, when did they pass away? How long have the bodies been buried? How long have they been missing? Like, have schools not reported? Like, what is going on with that? They did do a memorial for the girls. And these things are so hard to look at, especially, like, let me show you this picture, because it reminds me of my 2 grandbabies and what their picture looked like when they passed away. You know, a memorial picture like this is created. So these stories are hard to talk about. They're not easy. They're very triggering, but I have to do it. I have to. And I'm going to keep going regardless of the numbers.
Today in Cleveland, where bond has been set.
Now we're going to take a look at the memorial for the girls.
At $2 million for a mother charged with the deaths of her 2 young girls. 28-year-old Aliyah Henderson made her first appearance in Cleveland Municipal Court. She faces 2 counts of aggravated murder after police say the bodies of 2 children were found in suitcases in shallow graves earlier this week.
Authorities identified the victims as half-sisters, 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mila Chatman. And this afternoon, a vigil taking place for them in the Collinwood neighborhood. That's where we find Amaya Ward, who's been there covering this all day. Amaya, a very, very difficult day there.
Yeah, hi Jay, hi Betsy. Very emotional here. The vigil just wrapped up a little bit about 30 minutes ago, actually. The two girls' fathers are here, and as you can imagine, they're both pretty emotional, really emphasizing their need for privacy. But dozens of neighbors here in the Collinwood neighborhood came together for this candlelight visual. There were lots of balloons and teddy bears and signs in honor of both Mila and Amor. The visual itself did end sooner than planned after families are just so overcome with emotion. They just couldn't even come to talk. And many neighbors have stayed. They're still here talking with one another, talking about this tragedy and just the questions they have, they say still remain. They say this tragedy has shocked the foundation of their entire neighborhood. I talked to local activist Laura Cohen, who says she felt it was important to come out here and follow this following the arraignment. And, you know, she says this is less about the legal process and more about simply standing together as a community.
And these are little babies who won't graduate, won't walk down the aisle, have a wedding, their own child. Their life is gone, snuffed out.
That's exactly why community leaders say they wanted to hold this vigil here to give neighbors a place to come together, grieve, and support the families. Another speaker was Councilman Michael Polenzek, who just asked the community to keep the children and their family in their prayers. He also thanked several neighborhood churches that have stepped forward, offering to help hold services in the coming days so the girls can be properly remembered. Neighbors say what happened here has left their community deeply shaken, and many of them say they hope the continued support shown tonight will help the families through the difficult days ahead. And we're going to have more from people that live in this neighborhood coming up next at 6.
Sad case. Hold on, let me get out of here. Oop. Okay. One of the most heartbreaking parts of this story comes from the father of Mila Chatman. His name is Deshaun Chatman. And according to him, he had been trying to find his daughter for 5 years. He said the last time he saw Mila was in 2020 when she was just 3 years old. Since then, he says he repeatedly tried to get custody. He contacted courts. He contacted child services. But because he didn't know where Henderson was living, he couldn't locate his daughter. Then this week, police contacted him to tell him Mila had been found and that she was no longer alive. Chatman said something that has shaken a lot of people following this case. He says, "I feel useless. I couldn't save my baby." This is a very sad, sad case. There are still several major unanswered questions, and I've already went through them. What caused the girl's death? How long have they been missing? Did anyone report concerns about the children before this? Why were there no missing person reports filed? Were there prior interactions with child protective services? Did anyone else help dispose of these children? These are the questions investigators are now trying to answer. Investigators and the public. This discovery has shaken the Cleveland community. People have been leaving flowers and memorial items near the field where the girls were found. City officials say the deaths are unimaginable, and many people are asking the same question. How did 2 children disappear without anyone noticing? 2 little girls, 8 and 10 years old. Their lives ended in their in their bodies buried in a suitcase. And now a mother stands accused of one of the most horrifying crimes imaginable. But as investigators continue to dig into this case, more details are expected to come out. Autopsy results, evidence from the home, and the timeline of what happened to these babies. And when those answers come, the story may become even more disturbing because someone always knows something. And in cases like this, the truth always finds its way to the surface. And if the allegations in this case are true, those two little girls didn't just lose their lives. They were failed by every system that was supposed to protect them. I will see you all later. You have a good evening, and I will be bringing you more cases. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hitting that notification bell, setting it to all. So you'll be notified anytime I go live, upload, or premiere. Yes, Jemmy, I did play the bond hearing. I did. And comment afterwards. Engage. Double tap that screen. Hit the like on the Facebook. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Goodbye.
Truth, no need to see viral stories and crime stories so bleak, leaving you hooked for weeks, exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals all exposed to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right. The monarchy reigns, it rules the game. Become a member, don't be late. Every story I claim the frame. Truth and fire is my name. Exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals I'll expose to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right.